Hey guys, today's topic is the predator, as you saw in the title and the picture. The predator. The rapist, the child molester. Basically, let's just get to talking straight to it, okay? I'm gonna read off my notes because I've written down a lot of things and I wanted to make sure I did not forget. Unfortunately, most have been through one or all of these traumas, either rape or molestation. It could be at the hands of a stranger, so-called friend, or a family member. Any one of these is a violation, crime, and complete and utter disrespect. The stranger, someone you don't know, come and violate you. The so-called friend that you trust come and violate you. The family member that you trust wouldn't think would do it comes and violates you. Very scary and damaging to you mentally and physically. People like this should be castrated. The stranger can attack you anywhere you are, wherever you go at any given time, even in your own home. Even in your home. Walking down the street, the club, the bar, church, home, anywhere. It doesn't matter. You must pay attention to your surroundings at all times. All times, yes. All times, especially with your kids. You have to do so. Those so-called friends, you must be careful around them as well. Those are the ones that, make little sexual jokes, little sexual comments, touchy-feely, and, to the point you feel uncomfortable and it's starting to get disrespectful. Those are the ones you have to shut down immediately. And even if you do shut them down, those predators don't care. Unfortunately, they will take it, or at least try. So you have to be careful. Stay away from people like that. They should not know all of your personal information. And this happens to boys and girls, women and men, and last but not least, the elderly. I want to get into the elderly portion first. Nursing homes, assisted living, different areas like that, even in their own home, they get assaulted by strangers, people that work there. I've heard of many cases like that in the news and a newspaper. Yes, back then there was, they still have the newspaper. But a lot of elderly people were raped, taken advantage of. And men and women, the same thing. And of course, little boys and little girls and infants. I heard of one case, a few cases that happened, unfortunately, in Africa. Some people had this belief that to get rid of HIV or AIDS, all they had to do was sleep with an infant, at least 3 months or younger, and it would cure their HIV or AIDS. This is miscommunication, like wrong information basically, and just pure and utter ignorance. And because of that, horrible things happen to infants. When you work in the emergency room, in the hospital, or wherever you are, or you go to the emergency room, sometimes you'll see what, unfortunately, some parents, people that actually, I wouldn't even say parents, I'll say predators, people that actually give birth to their own kid, to their own child, or help, conceive the child, sexually assault the child, rape the child, and there's so much trauma, and there's multiple surgeries that's needed, and that child is traumatized for the rest of their life. They're not mentally stable at all. That child, that poor infant or child, toddler, is forever, will never ever have a regular childhood, will never trust anyone. They're basically just done. And so let's see. For the women out there who get raped or sexually abused, it could be by a stranger or by a loved one, a so-called loved one. It could be by whoever you're dating. You say no, even if you're married, and you say no, it's no. Do not touch, do not feel, do not do nothing. There should be no sort of touching, no penetration, no holding down, no entering of any kind anywhere. But unfortunately, some believe we are married, I could do as I please because you're mine. Basically, they think they own you and they could do as they please with you. And that's very unfortunate for women and men that's in that type of situation. And like I tell people, it is so easy to get married, but hard as hell to get a divorce. You just pay a little money, get your license, that's it. But to get a divorce, they put you through everything above just to say, I am done with this person. I don't want to be with this person no more. They put you through some of everything. So unfortunately, a lot of people don't want to go through all that. And they end up still married to these people, but living separate lives or just staying and dealing with the mess. And that's for women, and it happens to men. Now, for young boys and girls, like I stated, it's no one should be violated in that sort of way at all. It shouldn't be done. Unfortunately, when it comes to boys, some people don't fight hard enough for them. Some people tend to just focus on the females, the little girls, the women. We must also remember our little boys, the men who were attacked, raped, and molested, even as a little kid or as an adult. You cannot forget about them. A lot of people are so ignorant to say, oh, well, they're a man now. Oh, a woman did that to you? Oh, you're a man. She done made you a man, so you're experienced. That isn't funny and is not cute. It is trauma, just like it is for females. And for anyone to even have the audacity to violate a child is a sick bastard. Sick. You find a child attractive, you don't belong on this earth. You need to just be gone. You're sick. Anyone that rapes, violates, or molests a child or an adult, you are sick. You should not be here. You need to go seek help. You should not be roaming the streets if you having those sort of thoughts and feelings. You need to go put yourself up somewhere and get some help, the much needed help you need. And let's see. Someone, since I'm talking about the subject on boys, someone, said I could share this story. And basically, long story short, he was a little boy. And an older individual decided to take advantage of him. And she did that a few times. And people up to this day do not know that traumatized him. That affected him. And he even stated people feel like, oh, well, it was a woman, older woman did to you. You're okay. You're fine. He's not okay. He's not fine. He's a grown adult now. And that still haunts him to this day. So when people keep being ignorant to say, oh, an older woman did that to you? Oh, you experienced, you the man. No, he's not a damn man. He's a little boy that got violated just like a little girl gets violated, unfortunately. So people need to stop saying that. Put them in therapy. Let them get the much needed help they need. And also speak to your kids. Let them know, hey, if this ever happened or you feel like it's going to happen, you could let me know. And also let them know, hey, sometimes those demonic people will tell you, oh, if you say anything, we're going to kill your mom, we're going to kill your dad, we're going to kill your family or your sister. Do not believe them. They do that to scare you, so you won't tell us. They can't harm us. So sit down and have that discussion with your kids. And also, The little boys just end up traumatized as much as the little girls. So please do not forget about them. It affects them. It haunts them for the rest of their lives. Some people are able to seek the help that they much need and work through it and work through the healing process. But majority of our boys are not. Majority of our girls are not. So you need to be there for them. Open up. Let them know and let them see it's okay that you could have that discussion with them. If they don't feel they could trust you or have a simple conversation, well, that's not even a simple. If they feel they can't even have a simple conversation with you, why would they bring up this big conversation with you? Think about it. So let me see. And another thing, this is something else that kind of gets to me. Stop telling your kids, oh, go ahead, go give Uncle blah blah a hug and a kiss. Oh no, it's fine to sit in his lap. No, the hell is not. You don't tell anyone, give me a kiss or go give them a kiss. No. If anything, hey, shake of hands, that is it. Stop telling our little girls that and stop telling our little boys that. Unfortunately, that's the world. This is the world we live in. You cannot just innocently be like, oh, give you a kiss on your cheek, that shows a sign of affection and blah, 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 because there's serious pervs out there. If you really want to protect your kids, do what's needed. So stop telling them, oh, go give them a kiss. And you realize your kid is kind of pulling away, like, I really don't want to. Then there's something going on. There's something wrong. They're showing you a physical sign. Sometimes toddlers, kids, whatever, they're not able to express themselves like how we could by saying, oh, this person is harmful. They're crazy. You need to start paying attention and look at signs. Physical, emotional, mental signs. And all the actions that you could see. And let's get into this. Okay? The family member, whether it's the brother, the uncle, the father, whoever, the male or female, the sister, the aunt, the mama, that violates a child or another person in your family, or a stranger. Stop hiding them. Stop taking up for them. Stop making excuses for them. Call the damn cops. Report them. Get them the hell off the streets so they would not do it to anyone else. So that madness will not continue. You stay there and you keep allowing this to happen, you're part of the problem. I don't care how much you love your brother. If your brother has a problem like that, an issue, you need to get it resolved. Get him taken off the damn streets. We need to start thinking to break these damn cycles, these generational curses. You allow this to happen and they tell you, oh, it's not going to ever happen again. Guess what? They will tell you anything you want to hear, but end up doing it again and you will never know. You will never know. Take them off the street. You really love them? Take them off the street and know they're not supposed to be roaming around with anyone with them behaving or thinking like that. Off the streets. Plain and simple. Okay. And let's go to the other issue. Leaving your children with strange people. I don't care if it's with your uncle, your father, your grandfather, whoever. Stop doing it. You made a child, you take care of that child. It's even more difficult because if you do leave them with a stranger, that's like a daycare or something, or a babysitter, right? And you can't really trust them either, because there's a lot of them that do some crazy things, and we all see it in the news and wherever else, all over social media. So with that being said, is be more careful with who you leave your kids around. Okay? Try not to just leave them with just anybody. And we all know the many stories of women that leave their kids with their boyfriends while they work. And they come back and the kids are dead. Or the child has been molested or raped for years and years and years. And unfortunately, some of these mothers know of this. I'm not even going to call them mothers, demons. They're aware of this and just let it happen. And men, I've seen some stories about that too, leaving their children with their girlfriend, their stepmama, right? And next thing you know, the child is abused or the child is no longer on this earth due to your carelessness. And instead of doing great checks on people and trying to see the signs, keep them blinders open, you rather think about physical and somebody whoever's there that could help. Protect your kids and yourself. Don't just bring or allow just anyone around your children. Be picky and selective like you are with your clothes, food. Protect at all costs. Unfortunately, I went through a situation and I didn't tell my mom until like 5 years ago. 4 or 5 years ago. And she was hurt because she was not aware that it was happening, that it happened. And I just explained to her, for me, I guess it was a lack of communication or whatever may have you. And as a kid, you feel like, why you feel ashamed. You don't want to say anything, you don't want to tell anything because you feel like it's your fault. So that's why I say talk to your kids, let them know. If they feel like something is weird about someone, do not force them to be around them. If something does occur, they're able to come to you and talk to you. They don't feel ashamed, they don't feel like it's their fault, and to the point where they don't say anything, they just let it happen. So I had trust issues with it. Felt I had to be strong all the time, and I would never be that vulnerable little girl again, where that happened to me. So I grew up kind of hard, didn't care. I had the mentality of I don't care who, what, where, how, why. If anyone came in my way, they was going to be destroyed. I didn't care who it was, family, friend, or foe. And I was at a point I was hurt, sad, anxious, and the final blow was anger. Because if someone, everyone trusted, and you wouldn't think, but it did happen. I worked through my trust issues, got everything resolved, and I kept only certain people around me in my circle. And once you mess up with that trust, you're completely out. That's it. Over and done. And this is why I'm so protective of my family, and my friends. And at one point in time, when I was younger, I would go over and beyond to make sure they're well protected. Certain things will be done to make sure that whoever stepped to whoever in my family knew not to do so again. I wanted to make sure my loved ones didn't have to go through what I went through. That's something I wouldn't wish on anybody. And I don't ever want them to ever go through that. It could have broken me, but it did not. For some, it breaks them. They feel that's all they are, and that's all they're good for. So it breaks people down mentally, and their spirit just breaks. Either they sexualize everything and use their bodies, or they want nothing to do with sex at all. Go from one extreme to the next. The trauma causes devastating effects. to the mental, the physical, the spiritual. It breaks you down. It really does make you feel like you're not. It's unexplainable, basically. It could be passed down to your kids, the way you carry yourself after that trauma, and you're still holding on to it. It's you can't say heal from it. It's something that you can heal from, but you won't forget. So I'm not sure if you understand where I'm coming from. So if you are out there just like carefree, just jingling and shaking and doing all this stuff with your body and feel free and all this other stuff, hey, whatever floats your boat. Your kids will follow. Your kids, and that would be passed down to your kids, and most likely, unfortunately, down to their kids, and there go the generation of them just over sexualizing everything. And then for the ones that have the trust issues, or just not really into sex, but just do it just to satisfy their husband, whoever they're with, that could get passed down to your children as well, as in saying your kids would have trust issues because they see how you carry yourself, how you act towards people, and just like, oh well, they pick up everything. Kids pick up everything, and they are basically a mini you. So you have to go and heal, get therapy, get help, speak to someone, get the necessary help you so desperately need. Let me see. And then we also have another issue. For instance, if someone was violated, a child, if they were violated, they go to school, they violate another child. The domino effect. They pass that on. So now that's into that other person's family, and they might violate someone. And if they get older, they grow up, they're raping people, molesting people, and it's a vicious cycle that needs to be broken. So it could go all type of ways. Either way is bad. But if you could get the therapy and the help that you need, you could make it through. You could make it through. So I don't like saying, oh, a victim. I like saying a survivor. You've been through something. You made it. Don't be a victim, be a survivor. Some are able to break, those, whatever trauma that they've been through and work on themselves, while some are trapped in the trauma and carry on the violation to others. So you have to be aware of that as well. If you don't get the kids or the adults the therapy that they need, it could be a horrible domino effect, or it could really mess with their mind. Really mess with their mind. If you or someone is or was sexually assaulted, please tell somebody and tell the police. Call the police. Call police officers, whoever, and get the help that you need. And what I did, you could go to www.healthline.com. So you could look that up, and they have vital information for if you were sexually assaulted, any way, shape, or form. You could just go to that and read up on it. You could go on Google, look up the hotlines in your area to see where to call. If you do need help or assistance, you need someplace safe to stay, Google the locations. And always, what I was taught is make sure you always know your house, your home, wherever you stay, emergency exits. And that's why I like to go to the gun range and everything else and practice with knives and different things like that. As a teenager, younger than that, I started early. working with weapons and everything like that, because hey, I was not going to be that little girl again to be violated. So I made sure I was good with those little knives, the butterfly knife, machetes, whatever I had or was loaned to me, I made sure I practiced. So you make sure you know where all your exits are, emergency contact numbers. If you're in an abusive relationship, you got to be careful, but make sure everything is documented with authorities so you have a paper trail. So if anything does happen where you have to defend yourself and someone loses their life, they already have documentation that this person has been assaulting you, whether it's physically, sexually, mentally, whatever may be the case. Because I've seen a lot of cases where the females end up getting killed. They would let their family members know, or sometimes they don't even let them know. They only let their sister or brother know that they get, physically assaulted or whatever may have you. But don't make police reports. So there's nothing documenting, there's no paper trail to show why you had to defend yourself, or why did that person that's beating on you or assaulted you, killed you. So they could be the number one prime suspect. So please make sure you have a paper trail and let authorities know. They have different things. Restraining orders. I don't know what to say about it, but I'm like I said, I'm honest on this channel. I don't judge nobody. We judge free here. But restraining orders, to me, you could get one so you have your paper trail, but they don't work. The person could be at your job, right? Watching you. They could be next to your house watching you. As long as they're a certain feet away, they could do as they please. They can run up on you and do anything. As you know, there's many women and men that lost their lives due to, oh, you got a restraining order? That's not going to stop me. And they come and they kill you. So they also have something called no talk, no something else. I forgot what the name of it is. Close contact. So the person has to stay a few feet away from you. They can't be in the same spot. Blah. Basically just like the restraining order. But like I said, if the person is crazy, they're not going to care about no restraining order. They're really not going to care about it. So you got to be careful who you're dating and look at them background checks. Look at them. Pay that little money. If not, sit that one out. Give your mental and physical a break from a relationship. So make sure your kids are able to talk. Have this conversation with them. Have this conversation with your family and friends, your mom, your dad. Because like I said, nursing homes and assisted living and things like that, it happens. You see it all over the news. It happens. Okay? Unfortunately, they have some demons roaming this earth that are predators and just prey on people and just violate them, which is not cool. And if you are one of those predators, you need to go seek help. Remove yourself from the streets and go seek help. You need to take yourself away from people and go get the necessary help that you need. Break that curse. Set yourself free. So yes, I'm talking to you. If you ever violated anyone, a human or animal, you need to seek help. Go and get help. Stop hurting people. Stop creating these horrible curses Be that one link that breaks that whole demonic connection. If it happened to you and you feel, well, I'm going to traumatize somebody else, that makes no sense. You know how it felt when it was happening to you. Don't do it to somebody. Don't put somebody through that. Don't do it. Well, I love you guys, kings and queens. I hope this message, this video was insightful and it opened your eyes to some things. I really didn't get into detail about my situation because maybe one day, but not today. But do know, you don't have to keep living and thinking I'm a victim. I'm a victim. No, you're a survivor. I'm a survivor. Let me tell you something. If I was to sit there and cry and be depressed all the time because this one person did what they did to me, I would not be living my life to the fullest. I mean, I'm living. I've been somewhere, and unfortunately, that's another thing. Some people that this trauma happened to, they end up on drugs, they end up drinking a lot, end up prostituting themselves, just sleeping around, just doing a whole lot of stuff. I mean, that's a serious trauma and has horrible effects, like I said. You know, I ended up being one of them. But I said, you know what? This is how I thought. Eventually, when I reached to a certain age to fully understand, I said, wait a minute. While this person is out there living their life like ain't nothing happened, just living their life, I'm going to be here depressed, angry, anxious, having issues. Hell nah. I'm going to be living my life too. If I ever see this person again, it's going to be war. But they're going to see, yo, Olivia's doing good. What I used to do to her, you know, didn't break her. And that's how I put it. Ain't nobody going to break me but God and Jesus. That is it. So like I said, I'm not giving that person the satisfaction to say, oh, I damaged that person. Hell nah. You ain't damaged nobody. Not nobody over here. Like I said, you know, for some people, you know, they're not able to fight, you know, those feelings and stuff. Go seek help, get therapy, so on and so forth. You could do it. I believe in you. You could do it. You could be anything you want in this world, the best thing in the world. Don't let what someone did to you, violating you, make you feel you're not worthy. You're useless. You know, you're just a piece of meat, or you're dirty. You're a whore or whatever. You're not. You are a human being that been through something and God helped you out. Okay? And if you know of anyone, if you see anything that look like a sign of a child being uncomfortable around someone, you need to do something about it. Investigate. Okay? So kings and queens, I love you. And please comment below. You know, normally I say like, share, and subscribe, but at this point, I just want you guys to comment. Let me know if you choose to, because I know what you've been through and how did you overcome it, or is it still haunting you to this day? How do you protect your children? What do you teach them? Do you teach them weapons, training, karate, taekwondo, whatever? And do you have that communication with them, that connection, to let them know they could tell you anything? You know, comment below what you think of what I said and how you feel. All right? Love you guys. Hey guys, I also wanted to add, If your children or an adult is acting way off or different, misbehaving, doing whatever that's not a child should not be doing, or they're too quiet, they don't want to be touched, they don't want to be held, they don't want to talk, they're like closed up in a shell, or the complete opposite where they're, you know, bullying, misbehaving, like just acting out basically. Sit down and have that discussion. Sit down and have a discussion with them to find out what's going on. If they do not open up to you, take them to a therapist. So hopefully, and they're willing to open up to that therapist, the therapist could break through to them and see exactly what is going on with them, so you can find out what happened, if anything did happen, what could be done, so you can nip it in the bud and try to get them the help as soon as possible, as much as possible, okay? Love on your children. You hug them, you hold them, you let them know you love them, and that they could confide in you with anything, and make sure you protect them. They are the future. And protect your women and your men, okay? We are the present, okay? So please and thank you. Love you guys.